Coming from power sector and predominantly the only privatized utility in the country which has its own generation, transmission and distribution, I am very confident that there are immense opportunities in power sector. I'll start with the fact that, Musaddiq Malik Saab mentioned 11 rupee. If you look at the Genco's application to NEPRA for their determination of tariff, actually the generation cost is less than 10 rupees. It is 9 point something, which is 3.2 cents. I've compared it with India. The EPP, this is the EPP content of the power generation cost. In India, it is around 6 cents, 5.5 to 6 cents. So we are virtually not half, but slightly half than India. So we have I think people might not agree to it, but please go and search. Our energy mix is probably amongst the best in the world, with the nuclear, hydel, solar and wind to some extent, imported coal, LNG, and with the fact that in certain months, because of some transmission issues in winter, we burn furnace oil and somehow we were unable to use plants which are commissioned on local coal. So if we take into account all these inefficiencies in the system, our energy cost probably will be even more lower. So we are not expensive as energy producers in terms of the EPP. The problem which Musaddiq Saab also talked about is the capacity. The capacity is 16 rupees, more or less around. And again, then the O&M cost, which is again not too much. And then there's PHL surcharge, which is the circular debt. And then because we are unable to collect taxes, we have to pay around 25 to 30% in some form or the other. So it takes that energy cost to a level which makes it, economically unviable for industry, for residential. So we have to, if inshallah, and again, putting up generation is a much longer planned time requirement. So if we have that, probably there is some silver lining that we don't have to bring new generation to reduce the energy mix. Yes, we have to fix the circular debt. We have to fix the capacity. In terms of the capacity, Pakistan is just above African countries in terms of per capita power consumption. India is thrice as compared to Pakistan. I don't have a slide, but with dealing so many things, it was very difficult for me to write all this. So please, probably I'll send some things which can be circulated through OICCI. But India is 3 times Pakistan. If somehow we are able to increase our demand, and we are hearing about EVs, and I'm sure it's going to happen because the world is going towards probably 60-70% of cars to be on EV in the next 3 to 4 years by 2026-27. And obviously, if that happens, it is going to be replicated in Pakistan, which is going to create some demand. But at the end of the day, the industrial demand has to pick up. And I'm sure that the government is negotiating with IMF in terms of how they can price industry at a level where their demand can grow. And obviously, there are many factors. If that happens, then the energy cost of 16 rupees, it can go down. I can tell you, in our case, in K Electric's case, the capacity cost is not more than 2.5 rupee per kilowatt hour if you operate the plant on an optimum level, which if we are able to in Pakistan, energy price will go down substantially. So I think and probably in Pakistan, we are kicking the can for a very long time, and all these inefficiencies which are there because of the entire power sector is being run and managed by public sector, which again saying this in Islamabad is a bit dangerous, but I would still say that, it has created those inefficiencies. So if somehow we are able to handle the inefficiencies which are created because we are kicking the can down the road. But now the problem is that it seems that the road has ended, and we have to do some difficult things in order to ensure that all these unnecessary costs which are part of the tariff, they go away, and we have a sustainable tariff available for industry, for residential, for commercial houses. So the bigger problem, I think, today is that because we are unable to collect taxes. So yes, there is a pressure on the economy because of which lower utilization of plants, which unfortunately is not there. And when we have to go and borrow, the lenders will not allow us to use that money to fund the costs which are to be collected from taxes. If I go to Mr. Rehan Sheikh and ask him, I need 2 billion rupees because I have losses and I have to pay to some creditor, he will say, Moonis Alvi, thank you very much. I know you well, but I can't do this. So I have to present to him that I need 2 billion rupees so that I can either reduce my T&D loss, or I reduce my cost, or I put up some power plant which will give me revenue so that I can pay his debt back. He will not going to give me money to fund inefficiencies in the system. So when the lender is not allowing you to do that, then you have to collect the same amount from the customers. And because we are unable to collect taxes, we don't have the capacity to fund it from any other source. And again, we are hearing that there are reforms in FBR. So again, we have to talk about the possibilities of the which are there. So I think if that power demand grows, it has to grow. We are a nation of almost 230 to 150 million people, growing at a much faster pace as compared to the rest of the world. And hopefully, maybe by 2080-90, we will be surpassing India and China maybe. So, we have to manage ourselves well. I hope we don't do that, but maybe. So, if we are able to fix these issues and our energy demand grows, then the opportunities are in terms of incremental power plants, incremental distribution system, incremental transmission lines, incremental industrialization, huge. We are a nation which has a very limited food security issue. I am confident that probably insignificant people in Pakistan sleep empty stomach. So, we can feed our people thanks to Selani and Baitul Salam and all these institutions, but we have the food to feed the people. So that problem is not, here in Pakistan. So if we are able to fix these issues to some extent, demand will grow and there is huge opportunity. Coming from a privatized utility, I don't see a solution without privatization. And the government is talking about it. We have been in SIFC offices and they are actually not keen, they are enthusiastic to do it ASAP. So if that happens again, there will be a lot of opportunities for, investors to take control of these distribution units. And, with some utilities having T&D losses of as high as 40%, again, there will be huge opportunity to improve, make money, and also invest. When we talk about opportunities, obviously, every opportunity should require some return. So something which, again, has to be understood by everyone in the country is, if you make money, it's not a crime. You have to make money. If you don't make money, then probably the problem is much bigger. So I think that power sector reform would definitely create all those opportunities that has to be tapped by people like investors and most of our who are here, they should be looking at all those opportunities. EV solutions are coming. We have seen, as KE also, we have launched 640 megawatt of renewables. We have been approached by fantastic investor base. Already we have at least 40 people who have registered with us. We have international investors who are looking to put up solar plants, which will supply power to K Electric, and it's going to reduce, obviously, the cost and sustainability, which is something which we have to, again, in terms of whatever we are doing, we have to inculcate it in our processes. It is important. And I think we are all cognizant of the fact, although Pakistan is not major contributor to the emissions, we are only 0.6%, but we have to understand our responsibility. At the same time, while we talk about sustainability and energy, we have local coal. It is a dirty thing to talk about, but again, standing here, if I don't say that we have not used it, the world started using it 30-40 years ago, and they have saved a lot of money, while we relied on gas, which was bad use of gas. But and Dr. Saab and Musaddiq Saab both talked about the depletion in the gas reserve. So we still have coal, and the reserves that we have, it can last for hundreds of years. So government has talked about it. They are trying to convert the imported plants into local coal plants. Unfortunately, the financing is an issue right now, and probably now we don't find even EPC contractors to do all these things for us. But at the same time, China itself is putting up a lot of coal plants in China. So there is some disconnect. As a country, we have to understand that indigenous resources, and again, Dr. Saab, in fact, Musaddiq Saab talked about the hydel. The study which we have read says that we can have 70,000 megawatts from hydel resources. And again, it bodes well with the demand, because it comes in the summer when the demand is high, and it goes away in winter. So this is something which, again, is a huge opportunity. The challenge is that, unfortunately, all that land is, because it is AJK and Gilgit-Baltistan, the land has some disputes, and the government should also try to resolve those issues so that the financing, because the land is disputed, financing is a problem, so we can only go to China who finance all these projects. So again, if we can do that, it is the cheapest source of electricity. So the reliance on imported fuel can only be mitigated if somehow we find a way to at least convert the existing coal plants, and then hydel resources to be, for sure, there is no reason why we should not be able to do it tapped, so that our energy cost continues to be at a level which can be paid by the people. I also want to tell you that almost 60% of the residential commercial base is less than 200 units. This is if you don't know, it is a mind-boggling. This reflects the poverty level in the country. So if you have to increase price, if there are costs which have to be allocated, it would be very difficult to protect the 60% of the customer base, and entire incremental cost is charged on the remaining customers. This will increase their price too much. So this is our demography. We don't have too much options available. So the options are limited, and but yes, there are opportunities. We can fix it. If you privatize, like if we talk about K Electric, we have demonstrated that we have invested in the system. We have brought transmission and distribution losses from almost 38% to 14% now. We have improved recovery. I can challenge that we can win a debate where we will say that KE has zero contribution on the circular debt. So this is the benefit of privatization. This is the benefit of letting private sector deal with the theft, and how you can improve the workforce, how you can reward people, how you can hire people, how you can promote people. And at the end of the day, it is a people's job. So, and again, digitization also, we have done a lot. We have invested almost $4 billion in K Electric till now. We have filed a plan with the regulator for almost $2 billion. Another opportunity is that of that $2 billion in the next 7 years, almost $1.4 billion will be imported material. So we are talking to local investors, local industries, House of Habib, Fast Cable, many, to just look at what we have planned to buy in the next 7 years. And it is going to be a recurring buy because the system has to be upgraded or modernized with the same equipment that are there right now. So it is going to be very predictable. So we are requesting them to please, if you can convert some of the imports to local, the made in Pakistan concept. And we are working with all these big houses in Pakistan to ensure that if we can produce some of these things in the next 7 years, the target is 30%. We will save foreign currency, will create employment, tax, so on and so forth. So again, I'm very confident that Pakistan power sector can only go up, inshallah. And let's see, hopefully, inshallah, it will happen.